What's good, my fine and beautiful people? This is day 21. Day 21, trying to stay on my schedule. I'm pushing through. There's a lot of other things I should be doing, but I put this on myself to accomplish these things. So I'm going to take it one day at a time and see what happens. But today I want to piggyback off of what I was talking about yesterday when I was talking about, at least the previous video, because I did it earlier this morning. Mentorship, and about mentorship, and even moreover, finding your tribe. You know, people who I thought were friends and family who saw that I was maybe spiraling out of control at a time in my life. You know, they didn't pull my coattail and seriously have a one-on-one with me. I guess because everybody's living their life doing their thing. And maybe chuck it up to, that's just Brian, that's just what he do. But it was self-destructing. Definitely out of control. It was putting a lot of pain on myself and others. And, you know, I say all that to say, you know, I'm here to, you know, talk with guys my age or any man who just want to talk. But more importantly, try to help my youngins avoid the paths that we have taken. You know, I'm a child of the 70s. You know, at that time, a lot of the dads, for one reason or another, whether it was war or drugs or both, or the system, Big Brother, you know, separating families, making the black family weaker, when from the 20s, 30s, 40s, you know, it was the two-parent house homes. 70s come along, 80s especially, when crack hit. It's a single mother homes, and most people who are in jail come from fatherless homes. So the best thing I think we could do right now is kind of like stop the meter on this, you know, and that's by staying on track a lot sooner. A lot of my life has been, like I said, I've been failing and falling forward. You know, a lot of this back and forth, taking 2 steps back, a step ahead, you know, taking 3 steps forward, 2 steps back, that whole kind of thing, as opposed to having steady, slow growth. You have your setbacks, you have your holdups, but it's steady, and it's a slow growth, you know. And even outside of finding your mentor, sometimes you might have to get away from the people that are around you, both family and friends. You know, I've spent a lot of time wanting to be successful or be a success with my friends and family. And one, they might not have the vision I have. Or two, while I have both feet in, they might have 1 foot in, they might have a finger in, but they might not be all the way in. They might be from a standpoint of, well, let's see where this goes. When I'm like all the way in, I'm trying to make it go. And not that I don't love them, but I could be pulling dead weight. You know, at this time of my life, during these days, besides the new job keeps me away, but I'm also focused on and realizing that not everybody can go. Not everybody can go. And not even me, because their journey and my journey might be 2 different journeys. You know, it just might be a time where a certain part of the journey we ride together, but once we get to a crossroad, we might have to separate. I remember a friend of mine had told me, he said, you know, Brian, and I like conversations like these, you know, he was like, you know, Brian, Moses never saw the promised land. He got the people there, but he never saw it himself. And that actually made me think. You know, I was like, damn, you know, as much as self-righteous as I could come off sometime, that was the first time that made me think that maybe I'm not supposed to go. You know, that's real. And that's something that kind of hit hard. As much as I say, well, you know, I'm going to be the successful one. I'm going to be the one who's going to reach the top. Maybe I'm only supposed to go so far. This is why I'm here. This is why I'm here, because maybe this is where I stop and they go on. Like my man said, I had to go look it up. Moses never made it to the promised land. He got his people there, but he never crossed that threshold. You know, he still met God. He still met up with Jesus. That's in the books. You know, he still had a seat with the Father, but he never saw the promised land himself. As much as you hear about Moses, you never really hear that part of the story, that Moses never saw it. And that made me reevaluate my life, maybe reevaluate my strategy, that maybe that, yeah, I am pulling dead weight, but maybe this is about as far as we supposed to go. And that's real. Sometimes my wife gets on me about, I'm making my children's dream my dream. But I'm like, well, if they come and ask for help, this is how I know how to help. You know what I mean? Or they don't have suggestions. Well, here's my suggestion. But then also, too, once you've gone through a period of that, like my man Coach Red Pill say, the days are long, but the years are short. So a day, you could be in a day and the day flies. Like when I do this video stuff, the day flies. When I get into my digital media and recording music, 16 hours will go by like this. You know what I'm saying? I had to go study for a promotion exam and I'm falling asleep. Like it's like I've only been reading this thing 5 minutes and I'm asleep already. So my interest is not there, but this is just something that I have to do because of the life that I created, all out of order. So I'm carrying all this weight to continue to try to be as successful as I can possibly be. But realistically, to be a success, not that anything is ever perfect, but there's a better way of handling things. There's a better way of setting yourself up for success. So the earlier you begin to focus on what it is that you want to do or where you think you want to go and start putting plans in place and action in those plans, you will realize that, by just being on your own or finding your tribe, that the pieces will come together a lot better. So that way, when you move on and you want to have a family and you find a partner that's suitable and you find a partner that's on the same page as you, that when you find a partner, she's ready to follow your leadership, that now you have the time, the space, and the finances to cater to and be present with your family. Because that's a big deal. That's a very big deal. Like you can't be with your family and then thinking about work. Because you worried about, every time your child wants, at the amusement park and they want a slushie or they want a toy, they want to play a game, you thinking about how this is deducting, I might have to skip a bill, I might have to do this, that. You don't want to do that. You want to enjoy. You want to be present wherever it is that you're at that particular time. You're with your family, you're out there spending the day at the amusement park. Be present in that. When you at work, you don't want to take no calls from the family and be interrupted. You at work, be present in that. You doing your me time. You want to go to the spa. You want to meditate. You want to jog. You want to just walk the neighborhood, listen to your tunes. Be present in that. But your body, to have your body here and your mind there, it could become very exhausting. And what I come to find is that, what it is that you're looking for and what is it that you need might not be in the place you're at right now. You understand what I'm saying? You might have to get up and go. When people were in the South and there was this mass migration, go up to the North and to Detroit in the Midwest, because that's where the jobs were, people got up and went. When Europeans and pilgrims or whoever, immigrants that came over from wherever it is that they did come from, because my great-great-grandfather came from the islands. I got records coming through Ellis Island. You know what I'm saying? Because here's where the opportunities were. So they had to get up and go and come here for those opportunities. As much as you want to be successful in the family that you were born in, you might have to go find a new tribe somewhere else. That means if you're in New York, you might have to go to California. And even when you get there, you might only go but so far. You might have to get up and leave there and go down to Texas. You might have to get up out of here and go to France. But you can't do that if your ducks are not lined up, if you're doing things out of order. I always say, go get your education, right? Then go work for somebody who's already doing what it is that you do. Perhaps you'll find your first mentor there, or find your first mentor in your school, whatever it may be. Go get that job, get your mentorship, see how things are run in the industry, and then come up out of there with all that information and begin your innovation. Become successful in that, then start planning and building your family. Get your ducks up, get your ducks in a row. You know what I mean? Because like I said, the friends and family that you have immediately, that you're kind of born into, they might not be on the same length as you. They might not have the same loyalty as you would have, as you may think, and that made me think a lot that, you know what, I've been doing things because I needed to do them. I had to make decisions on the fly. A situation that I've created is now I have to make these types of decisions to do things that I really don't want to do, but I have to do to keep this ball going, to keep this ball moving forward. But if I right now, if I'm speaking to a guy who doesn't have a family, who might have a girl he's seeing, but is not really tied down to anything, what it is that you're looking for might not be where you're at. And it might not be and you might not, and it's very possible that whatever it is that you're trying to achieve, it's quite possible the people that you are surrounding yourself right now are not the ones that are going to help you get to where you want to go, where you need to be. You know what I mean? Where you need to go and the people you may need to be with might be somewhere else. Or you need to just cut off the people that you're with who are not servicing you and your goals, especially if it's not positive and productive. You might have to be proactive and begin to sever those ties or create some distance so now you can begin to focus on new associations and new locations. And then get your plan together, being proactive, and then putting that action into place and getting the hell up out of Dodge. So that way, when you get, like I said, I'm the inside man. I failed forward. I fell forward. I failed, and I fell forward. So I'm telling you from inside, I consider myself blessed and highly favored. Blessed and highly favored. So, but what I'm telling you here is to avoid unnecessary turmoil and baggage while you're free and trying to figure it all out. Consider this a word from your virtual mentor. Reevaluate your surrounding. See who's dead weight. See they might not mean no harm, but they're not helping you into where you want to go. Research where it is that you have to go and take those steps to get there. And then once you get there and put in some work, reevaluate your situation and find out what and where's the next destination. You know what I'm saying? With that being said, it's your boy Brian Keith. Please like and subscribe. Please subscribe. Please subscribe. As my man from the Poor Man Podcast would say, give me that HBO special. Help a brother out. Help a brother out. I'm trying to build this thing. And I'm just, like I said, I've done things with my tribe, but that's not my vibe anymore. Not at that level. Not at that level. I'm trying to raise my level of consciousness and trying to find a new tribe. And I'm going to have to come out what's familiar, and kind of go on out there. And this is a tool that I have. So I'm going to use my tool and I'm going to do my thing. All right. So this is your boy, Brian Keith, the inside man with the purple pill perspective. And I'll see y'all tomorrow with another one. All right. Be proactive, be positive, and most of all, proactive, productive, and most of all, positive. I'll see y'all tomorrow, y'all. Peace.